Hello everybody and welcome to my slightly belated August TBR. However, I think it's fine because we are still in the first half of the month. So, without further ado, we'll get right to it. My first book for my August TBR is The Zong, A Massacre, the Law, and the End of Slavery by James Walvin. It is nonfiction, it's amazing, and it's British. So all those things together are just fantastic, right? It is about a slave ship that threw 132 slaves overboard because they were running out of water. And true to form, in the 1700s, if you had to throw some slaves overboard to save the rest and make a profit, then that's what you did. Spoiler, the owners of the slave ship tried to claim for insurance, £30 a head, on the slaves. They failed. There's a whole long story, you have to read the book for that, but ultimately they did not get their insurance on the slaves, which was a great victory for the abolitionists. I finished this one today, but I did read it in August, so it is included on my August TBR. The second book is just completely different from every other book in this video, in that it is science fiction. It is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. You'll have to pardon the cover, my library needs a new book. I did not desecrate this cover, by the way, but this one I have absolutely no idea what it's about beyond it being science fiction. I simply am reading it because it's fairly popular and my cousins named their son after him, at least his middle name is Ender. So I feel like I should maybe have some idea what they're referencing when they say his name. The third book is A Butterfly Mosque by G. Willow Wilson, and I'm reading this one because it is about a Colorado-raised woman who converts to Islam and then falls in love with an Egyptian man post 9/11. And in today's tumultuous world, specifically with all of the prejudices against Muslims and anybody who isn't white, to be honest, which is really sad, I just thought this would be a fascinating read to learn about somebody who is, well, different, who doesn't believe the same things as I do. And it just, I don't know, yeah, it sounds really good. So that's why I'm reading it. The fourth one I am reading is Washington, A Life by Ron Chernow, and I am reading this solely because it's by the same author who wrote Hamilton, which I loved. This book is a whopping 817 pages, which really isn't too bad, and my sister told me that Lin-Manuel Miranda read Washington, and that's how he got the inspiration for the whatever song it is that Washington and Hamilton sing when Washington's retiring. I can't recall the name, please forgive me. But I'm really excited about this book because I do think Ron Chernow is a great author, and I like learning anything about anybody before about 1970, so why not, right? The fifth and sixth books, the last two on my TBR, are completely different time periods and completely different location. They are both located in Egypt in the more ancient times. And the first one is The Woman Who Would Be King by Kari-ng. This one is about Hatshepsut, who was a female pharaoh, which, as per usual, is fairly scandalous when a woman takes power for herself, God forbid. And I am really excited to read this because I think Hatshepsut is just fantastic, regardless of the fact that she ended up being ousted by her brother or stepbrother, I don't know, and had to, I think, basically drink some poison and die and then be erased from the face of history. But that's part of the reason I think she's fascinating, so I'm very excited to read this. And then the last book on my August TBR is Egypt's False Prophet Akhenaten by Nicholas Reeves. Again, also Egyptian. This one is about the pharaoh who decided he was going to take Egypt's pantheon of gods and turn it into one single god, because what can go wrong? I don't know if he succeeded. I'm guessing not, but I know nothing about him beyond that he tried to make Egypt a monotheistic society, and I suspect it went something like the Catholics trying to make the natives of the New World monotheistic. And by that I mean not particularly well. They just sort of took it and ran with it. But that is my last book on my August TBR, and I do apologize that most of them are nonfiction, but I'm on a serious nonfiction kick right now. I do actually have books that are not fiction, not nonfiction, as you can see, and eventually I will get back into reading those. But until then, I'm going to learn something. And so are you. Bye.